each person's information to record that they showed up to vote. So that, as you can imagine, also slowed down the line. By all accounts of both poll workers here, our campaign workers, and also others, that slowed down the process, and many people who showed up to vote left because they had to get back to work, or if they came here very early in the morning, they had to run off to work. And so, you know, if this was a one-time occurrence that was just happening at Las Palmas, we've heard other reports of understaffing throughout Bexar County today. If it was just a one-time thing or a one-day thing, that would be one thing. But as I stated earlier, this has been a recurrence, a constant thing in Bexar County elections for several cycles now, and it needs to stop.
Right.
We're calling on the Commissioner's Court and the County Elections Office to make sure that they do right by the people of Bexar County and fully staff each of the early voting sites and dedicate the resources necessary to make sure that people, Republican or Democrat or Libertarian or anything else, can fully express their political preference. This is not a partisan issue. In fact, the county is controlled by Democrats, not Republicans. And so, before we invest in another study on a soccer team or a football team or landing a baseball team, we need to make sure that we invest in updating our voting machines. The San Antonio Express News reported yesterday that Bexar County uses what are considered some of the nation's most outdated electronic voting machines that leave absolutely no paper trail. These kinds of machines have been banned in many other states across the United States, yet the people of Bexar County are still made to vote on these machines. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to José Menéndez for some more remarks, and then we'll be glad to take questions.
All right. Thank you, Congressman Castro. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. Welcome to the west side, the heart of District 26, aquí in Las Palmas, across the street from San Fernando Cemetery. And as I look out over, I have fond memories of many campaigns. And as I think about 1997, my first city council race, where out of 8,000 votes cast, I win by 41. I think what would have happened then if maybe some of my supporters would not have been able to cast their vote? Would I be here today? I don't think I would have run again, but I think it's more important than what my career turns out. What's important is, can people exercise their right to vote? And at a time when we're asking people to come out to vote, where we're doing everything we can, some of us are doing everything to encourage people, to ask them to get out and vote. We have got to, as a county, make sure they have the ability to exercise that vote in a reasonable way. And so it doesn't make sense to me, and I will tell you this, that after Congressman Castro called me, I called Jackie Calallen, and she assured me that they were completely overwhelmed, they were not prepared for this, and that they've called in reserves, and that she feels that they'll be better prepared tomorrow. We will be checking again tomorrow. One of the things that we've had constituents suggest that maybe we could post waiting times at different election sites. So tonight at the end, she said, look to see who had the most votes so that we can try to help people go to voting locations where maybe people could get in and out easier. This is about encouraging people to exercise their right to vote. It is not right that only 14% of Bexar County residents have traditionally exercised that right. We have got to do more to encourage more people. You know, Congressman Castro and I are for making it easier to vote, for people to express their right. I would like to see same-day voter registration. I'd like to see county-wide voting every day, including election day. We have the technology to do that. There's no excuse for us to use antiquated methods. I'm confident that both County Judge Wolf and the Commissioner's Court will step up to the plate with Jackie Calallen to make the voting accessible, easier, better, and it can be done.
Respect the voters.
It's a shame that the Congressman and I have to take up these concerns and make sure, and that's why we're here, because we care so much about each and every voter. Because, you know, I can remember, if you remember our first, it was 2000, the special election of 2000, then a good friend of ours, Mike Villarreal, won his special election by one singular vote. So when people say my vote doesn't count, every vote counts. So if people, for whatever reason, weren't able to vote today, we're asking you, please come back and vote tomorrow. We've been assured that it's going to be better to do, easier to do. Make today election day. If it can't, make tomorrow election day, and bring people with you. Any questions?
Are you going to do anything tonight or
They've been there for a long
to
time,
make
they
sure
should
that Jackie
know.
and the other elections people follow through and actually make changes? I mean, what can you do to sort of jumpstart the process?
So immediately this morning, when the congressman and I were getting feedback, I called Jackie. I've talked to the county judge and Commissioner Elizondo about this, and I've said, you know, what's going to happen? She reassures me that they've reached out to the reserves, that they're going to have more people on site. But I think the congressman has some other issues that didn't make sense. The whole label printing, writing, handwriting, that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. I reached out after spending some time here at Las Palmas early this morning. I reached out to Judge Wolf to let him know the concerns of voters and the fact that as I went through the line here, there were many people that were very upset, clearly frustrated, and he assured me that he would start to take action. I've also traded phone calls with Commissioner Elizondo, who represents this precinct, I believe. So we're trying to work collegially with the county commissioners, and of course, as Senator Menéndez mentioned, he reached out to Jackie Callahan directly. Again, this is not a personal beef that we've got with anybody, but it's hard to watch year after year. And when I say it's year after year, remember in 2016, the county had to be sued by MALDEF to take down signs that gave wrong and bad information to voters about the new voter ID law. It shouldn't take a lawsuit against the county to take down a sign that's got bad information that misdirects voters. So we cannot keep having these things happen.
The other thing that people need to know, if they're disabled or they're just in a physical condition where they can't get out of the car, they can bring a voting machine to the car window. People need to know if physically they just don't feel up to it and they didn't ask for a mail-in ballot, they can still vote. They can have a machine. Las Palmas is a perfect place to drive through and have an election judge bring the machine out to you. Voting needs to be done. If you are registered to vote, you need to exercise that right.
The whole computer glitch thing where they had to handwrite, is it a concern of any of yours that these votes didn't get counted or they were misread, or I mean, is that a concern of yours?
You know, of course it's concerning. We want to be sure that none of those votes go uncounted because there's a claim that whatever information was written down by the clerk or the poll worker doesn't match whatever was presented to that person. So the county is going to have to be very vigilant about that.
They should be ready.
Again, I've been told of issues with understaffing at least a few of the other early voting sites. You know, it's been in the news for a long time that we were expecting big turnout in midterms. So this was not a surprise to anybody that we were going to need to staff up, and for whatever reason, the proper staffing has not happened.
The county says the voter hotline is 335-VOTE. If you have constituents, you have people that are having trouble, if they can't get through on the line because the lines are jammed, we've had those calls today too, that people are so concerned they're calling in. Do you have any other advice for people who find themselves stuck and can't get a phone call?
I'm sure the congressman will have a similar response, but anybody feel free to call my office, 733-6604. Come by Wonderland Mall, visit us. There's an early voting location site there. Look, my office in Wonderland Mall, you don't need an appointment. If you want to vote and the line's too long, you just need to rest. Come and sit on the couch. It's your office. It's the people's office. The issue is that we want everyone to vote. We want people to exercise this right. We want to encourage people. One of the things that I'm going to work with the congressman on at the federal level and me at the state level, I'd like to see what can Texas do to improve on and get new machines. I would love a machine that gave every voter some type of paper receipt, so that when you did have a recount, how many of us have thought, what are they recounting? The machine doesn't give you anything to recount.
Right.
So what are you recounting? So I'd like to see some paper ballot. I remember the days when we did the fill in the little Scantron, and I had a manual recount on that election with the 41 votes, and we picked up 12 more because it was a check mark or an X instead of the full circle. So paper voting, in my opinion, is more secure, and it provides a real record of who voted how.
No, I absolutely
Where
agree.
the righteous
Texas is one of about 13 states that allows for these outdated voting machines that don't leave any trail at all, paper trail about how somebody voted. That's a serious problem in a time with very deep cybersecurity concerns, and the fact that, as far as I can tell, there isn't a single federal law, and I still can't find a state law, that establishes a minimum level of cybersecurity protection for our voting systems. You layer on top of that the voter ID laws and the gerrymandering that's occurred in Texas over the past decade, and this just adds to the problem. And again, you know, this is a county government that is controlled by majority Democrats. This is an issue that we should be able to figure out. We should be able to do better than this.
Does any of this scare you?
Yeah, I'm worried. I think we're both worried for the people, and whether
Yes.
their votes are going to count, whether they get discouraged, and a lot of people who come over here and turn around because the line's too long, because it's too slow, and they end up not voting. You know, we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to vote.
Look,
We don't like corruption.
I am tired. I feel horrible every time I hear people say, why should I vote? What difference does it make? Nothing changes. All of the cynicism,
Yeah.
these things only make that
They bring
worse.
the people
The better
down.
and the more secure we can make our elections, the better that everyone will feel about their right to vote and the difference it will make. Now, for all those people out there that think or feel that it doesn't make a difference, if they don't vote, they're actually voting to let the other person win. So when you don't vote, you actually are making a choice
Right,
to
right.
let the people that you don't care about have, and other people, this strong vocal minorities that get out no matter what, they're going to have a bigger choice, a bigger say. You're going to be stuck with what they decided for you.
All right. Any last questions?
If the issue's not fixed tomorrow, what's next? Like, I'll just going to keep pressing until it ends?
Well, as I understand, the county, I think Jackie Callanan was going to have a press conference this afternoon also to talk about the situation, and we'll be watching that. But yeah, look, we're going to keep pressing. As I said, we're calling on the county to do better.
Look, here's the reality: is we are close colleagues with the people who, everybody at Commissioner's Court. We don't think this is malicious. We don't think, but we want to see a change, and we're here to help. Whatever we can do to make it better. If it's helping call for volunteers, if it's helping get people, we are here to make anything we can do to help. We want people to get engaged, stay engaged, go out to vote. And if it's like, if the question is, is Wonderland too busy? What's the closest other early voting site that's not? And can we put online, on instant media, social media, where are the shortest wait times? So that people say, hey, I only have 30 minutes. Well, there's no wait here. There's no wait there. We need to encourage that. We all need to be a part of the solution. We're not here just to complain. We're here to help as well.
Boy, and I agree with Jose that I don't think that this is malicious on the part of county leaders or even the elections department. But when it comes to suppressing votes, the shrug of the shoulders or inertia can be just as harmful and damaging as active attempts to actually suppress votes.
Early voting continues through November 2nd. So if somebody's having real trouble today, do you have a pep talk for them? Like, keep at it, don't give
Yeah,
up?
please, look, don't give up. Yeah, please make sure that you vote. Your vote is absolutely important. We care about you voting, and just keep at it.
Now, for those people who are sick and tired of getting phone calls, of getting mail, they just want it to stop, go vote. As soon as you vote,
They got
They'll
the
take you
vote.
off the list.
the smart campaigns take you off the list.
They get.
Because it just saves them money. So if you want to stop getting harassed about voting, go vote. Because if not, I guarantee you're going to get harassed through election day. And I want everyone to please vote. Let's show the nation that we care about who governs us. Because that's what
We are the government.
All right, maybe one more. Anybody?
Is there anything specifically you can do about funding, that the state can do about funding extra staffers or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I'll speak for Congress. I think Congress should step up and do more. The Congress appropriated a few $100 million for election assistance, but after the episode in 2000 with the contested election and the hanging chads and the butterfly ballot, that amount, I believe, was over $1 billion. So this amount has been a lot smaller. Yes, I think the Congress should step up and do more to fund elections in Texas throughout the country.
I think the state needs to do a better job. I think there are many other states that have shown that they have a real desire to see as many of their citizens vote. I think we can do a better job with same-day registration. I think we need to encourage more people of all walks of life to get up to go and vote and make it easier. I mean, to some degree, I think it should be in many countries. It's a holiday to vote, and in some countries, Australia, if I'm not mistaken, it's against the law not to vote. And therefore, what I hear is that everyone talks about the election. They talk about who they're going to vote because they have to vote. I think that we owe it to the hundreds of millions of veterans who have served this nation, put their lives on the line, to give us the right to vote, to live in this society, that we should go out and respect them by voting. And that's the thing. I mean, you want to show veterans, my family, we all tell them we thank them for their service, and they're very kind and say thank you for the support. Let's show them real support by going out to vote.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you to my favorite. Okay, Senate.
Good to see you.